Right, we are here with Gazza. We got some questions for him regarding the All Blacks in 2021. Firstly, Gazza, before I get to the specific stuff, what are your thoughts on the squad overall?
The squad overall is pretty satisfactory. There were not too many surprises in there. A couple of players missed out I thought who might have got in. Alex Hodgman and Cullen Grace, but I'm sure their time will come. We're a bit light at mainly second 5'8". That worries me a bit. With Nani Lamapi going overseas and Jack Goodhue injured, that could be a bit of a problem area for Foster and his fellow selectors and coaches. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the squad. It's a good squad, and I've got no doubt that he will have a number of players on standby that we will see in the future that when injuries hit the team.
You mentioned Laumape. Did the All Blacks, did New Zealand Rugby make a mistake in kind of apparently giving him a pretty poor offer? Should they have done more to keep him?
They should have done more to keep them, definitely.
Why do you reckon?
Well, he's a bit of a unique player. He's a bit like a mini Ma Nonu. He's only played 15 tests. He's only played so many off the bench and started. I think they should have given him a decent pay rise to stay. I certainly would have considered it. I think he's a big loss to be honest.
Now, we've seen the first 23 for the year, and it's got Mo'unga at 10 and Barrett on the bench. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that because the one thing that Foster and the selectors and coaches have indicated that they're going to play both these guys on a rotation basis. So I'm pretty happy with the way they're doing that. If one of those guys got injured, then we've got a couple of other guys like Josh Ioane or Mitchell Hunt that would come into consideration.
What about the ever-pressing fullback question? Because we've got Geordie Barrett, we've got Damien McKenzie, Will Jordan.
I'm pretty happy with Will Jordan, Geordie Barrett, or Damien McKenzie at fullback. But I know McKenzie's got this run against Tonga. I probably would have made it Geordie Barrett because he's been the form fullback. I know McKenzie's been pretty brilliant too, and Will Jordan can do things out of this world, but I would have given probably Geordie the first start, but McKenzie's there, so I'm not too disappointed with that.
It's hard to be disappointed with any of those guys, to be fair. Now, we're seeing a bit of an exodus at the moment from New Zealand in terms of guys going overseas. We've already talked about Laumape, but we've also seen Lachlan Boshier, Faya Fafita, Vince Arso, or Teddy Black. A bunch of guys are leaving New Zealand. Do you think this gives us problems with depth, or do you think there's always going to be someone else to stand up?
Not at loose forward, but it could in the centres. I mean, Vince Arso was on the verge of All Black selection a couple of years ago. He's been injured. He can also play wing. I think he's probably sick of waiting. That's why he's taken it. Lachlan Boshier, I'm a bit disappointed he didn't make the All Blacks, but they're talking about using bigger guys around the physicality, like when they play South Africa and England and those other teams. So I think Lachlan Boshier is a big loss. He obviously isn't in the selector's mind, so he's going to take the money and run, and good on him.
Now, in terms of the coach, Foster has got this year left on his contract. Scott Robertson's kind of waiting in the wings. What do you think Fozzie has to do to keep his contract for the Ike? What's the minimum for him to get renewed for the World Cup?
He's got to win games, and he's got to win them in style, because I think if he doesn't, I think Scott Robertson could be breathing down his neck to get the All Black coach for the World Cup.
Between the two, do you have a preference?
I do have a preference of Scott Robinson personally, but I'm also of the mind to give Ian Foster another chance because he only had a limited time last year.
It's kind of hard to judge him based on that kind of COVID disrupted year. But you reckon we kind of go through a clean sweep in July? We got Tonga, Fiji. You'd think a clean sweep. And then what's the minimum requirements for the Rugby Championship? Do they need to win it? Do they need to... How many games can Fozzie afford to drop?
Well, they need to win it. And they wouldn't want to drop more than 2 games. That's my personal opinion. So that's what I would say.
If they do renew Fozzie's contract, what do you think Scott Robertson does?
From what I've been reading, he is, at the moment, he's in negotiations to stay with New Zealand Rugby.
Even if...
I would think so, because he's still young and he's still got time to do it, even if Foster's and his cohorts go through to 2023.
Do you think he'd benefit from following like a Graham Henry, a Steve Hansen, a Wayne Pivac, kind of taking the helm of a Gatland, of a Wales or an Ireland or a Joe Schmidt kind of route? Do you think he would?
I think he would, but I know New Zealand Rugby are really trying hard to keep him here at the moment. From what I've been reading between the lines or on the lines, I think they're really trying hard to keep him.
All right, well, cheers, Gazza. What is your prediction for Tonga against the All Blacks this weekend?
It's a...
Is going to be a cricket score? Do you think it might be closer than that?
Well, to be honest, the All Blacks are going to win. It just depends how serious they get about it. I feel really sorry for Tonga because a lot of their best players are in Europe, like Samoa. They won't be released by the clubs. They'll only be released for the World Cup. So... we shouldn't throw any axes or anything at them, because if they get a hiding, they get a hiding. It's just depending by how much.
All right, cheers, Gazza. If you guys have got any questions that you would like Gazza to go over next time, do leave them in the comments. And, we'll talk to you guys again soon.
Okay, see you guys.